Welcome to Outer Dark in a nutshell. The novel begins with the introduction of the siblings Culla and Rinthy home and the result of their sexual relationship, with Rinthy being only a few days from labour. Here the tinker is introduced as well, and from his interaction with Culla and Culla's unwillingness to call for help during the birth, we see Culla's shame over the child. The child is soon born, and after Rinthy falls asleep, Culla leaves it out to die in the woods, telling her that the child has died. The child is found by the tinker, who takes him to a wet nurse without knowing who his parents are. Rinthy finds an empty grave and sets out to find the child. After abandoning the child, Culla, trying to escape his sin, sets out across the country to find work. Along the way, he meets 3 men who repeatedly threaten him. Careful to avoid her brother, Rinthy sets out to look for the child. She finally catches up to the tinker, who takes her to his cabin with the suggestion of giving her her child. He does not in fact do so, but berates her for abandoning her child and tells her he deserves the child far more than she does. Beginning to surmise the truth, the tinker demands to know if Culla is the child's father. When Rinthy tells him he is, the tinker refuses to believe it, calling Rinthy a liar and storming from the cabin, saying he will kill her if she follows him. The novel ends years later. Culla talks to a blind man who tells him of the blessings of being blind and that he prays for what he needs. Culla later watches the blind man walking towards a swamp, which for him means certain death. The novel was written by Cormac McCarthy in 1968 and is an example of the American Gothic. The time and setting of the novel are nebulous, but can be assumed to be somewhere in Appalachia, somewhere around the turn of the 20th century. The world of Outer Dark is a brutally nihilistic one. It represents a gestalt of irrationality and incoherence, a world that is completely strange and unapproachable. It explores ideas about nature and uses motifs of light and dark. It considers incest, guilt, and sin. The description of the forest links to the Earl King, whilst taboos such as incest and murder are explored in the Bloody Chamber, particularly in The Snow Child. Read the opening section. How does McCarthy use setting to establish mood? What was the public reaction to the text when it was published? Research American Gothic and explore ideas about irrationality and madness.